Hello, my name is Matt Oswalt, and this is a video series on contributing to the NRE Labs curriculum. There's a few steps before we get started. First is to read the quality standards. These are a set of principles and guidelines for keeping quality high within the NRE Labs curriculum. During the contribution process, you're going to have your content reviewed by some maintainers, and these are some of the guidelines that they're going to follow in keeping the quality high for any contribution. Second, it's always a good idea to communicate your idea ahead of time. Minimally, this might include opening a GitHub issue with an outline that sort of explains the kind of content that you plan to go over and what kind of things the learner can expect to come away from your lesson having learned. But it's really a good idea to just get involved with the community ahead of time, just in case somebody else is trying to work on something similar or might be able to collaborate with you on your idea. Last, if you need any new software images for your lesson, it's really important that we handle this first. The existing contribution pipeline is really well optimized for people who want to create content and preview it quickly, but it doesn't work super well if the needed software images don't already exist, so it's really important that this is done first. So the first place you're going to want to go is the NRE Labs curriculum repository. Just like everything in the NRE Labs project, we manage the curriculum, the actual curriculum, meaning the files and the lessons and all of the different sort of artifacts that go into the curriculum. We manage all of this through GitHub. So you're going to want to start there. A high-level overview of the process in this part of the video is sort of threefold. First, we want to fork the NRE Labs repository. This is a way of basically creating our own copy that we can create sort of branches on and push commits to, and that way we can sort of have a staging ground before we try to contribute those changes back to the main project. Once we have that fork, we're going to clone that fork to our computer, and what that basically means is downloading a copy of that fork so that we can work with it locally. And then third, we want to create a working branch for the new content. It's always a good idea to create a working branch, and this is going to allow us to sort of iterate on what we need to do without stepping on maybe some other work that we have going on. So the first step is to fork the NRE Labs curriculum. As I mentioned before, everything is done in GitHub, and the NRE Labs curriculum is managed within this repository located here. So if you go to github.com/nre-learning/NRE-labs-curriculum, that's where you'll find this. The button here at the top right allows us to fork this repository, which again is basically just creating a copy. So I'll just create it underneath my username. Okay, and now we have a copy of the NRE Labs curriculum under our own username, which means we can read and write changes to it. Next, we want to clone this repository. It's great that we have a fork, but we need a local copy of this so that we can work with our local editors and things like that. So we'll grab this URL under clone with SSH, copy that to the clipboard, or you can just click this button. And now we're over here in our terminal where we can type git clone, and we'll paste. And you can see it's pulling down a local copy of the repository. Next, we'll cd into this directory, so NRE Labs-curriculum. You'll see that all the files that were previously on GitHub are now on our local machine. And now we can create a new branch for our lesson. Git checkout -b creates a new branch and also checks it out for us. Enter. And now we're ready to create our content. That's all for now. If you'd like to see the other videos, you can head to the description below or check us out on our docs site, which is docs.nrelabs.io. Thanks.